welcome back to Upside DIY. So I got some coffee after pretty much at least 4 to 5 weeks. So cheers. So I got a lot of stuff done with the Bluetooth. Now I'm just gonna tour through the stuff I need to finish. The Bluetooth and Amazon stuff is kind of out of the way, most of it. And basically took it apart. I had a couple pieces of tape to basically guide me to reassembling so I don't get too lost. So I got tape on the ends of those boards, and I did a little bit of touch-up painting. I just want the caulk between each joint because it's going to keep a lot of the water, and also hopefully I'm hoping, and the screws more dry, and basically so the water doesn't drip in there and then stays there for a while and things and rots out the wood. It's no big deal. So if I could actually finish this tonight, by tonight it's 4 and things, or have, just a lot of things going on once is what a lot of people would. So everything's kind of like that. The thing is now, yeah, I've got to do this real fast, drill in, and also weatherproof any screws. So I've got to get something to actually, like, have a little bit of glue, or lay out some screws and then dip the glues. Wiped off any excess screws or glue with the last screw, so there's silicone on there, and I'm just going to use the drill screwdriver. And that should be, a lot better, I think. And also I'm going to try to turn this over and put in the other screws. And I got kind of like a small plastic. Alright, so I got 3 pieces, and I used any excess glue and started on this side. It's the top. So having these guide pieces of tape to guide me, at least I knew most likely the common side. I'm gonna also, at the very last part, rotate, just put some silicone where I need to in the very gaps, and then have to get ready for the last piece. But now this is getting cleared up. Alright, so not too bad a mess. I got the silicone applied, and as I mentioned, the guide and the tapes actually helps. So this piece of tape is on top of there, and then I just lower it onto this. So the wood piece is technically positioned, and then now I just squeeze out a little bit of, so I get 6 screws and squeeze out, and just kind of put this together with silicone, wipe off any excess, and then I'll see you guys right back. Alright, so I got most of the screws in for now, and I'm also wiping any excess in any of the creases or gaps. So I got this one to tighten a little bit. Everything is fastened, and basically I already put this together, and then I had 3 pieces in the end that needed to be trimmed up or replaced. So this is kind of the bottom part, and I already siliconed or glued. I would take out this screw because I took out all the screws. I'm taking out all the screws. Basically there's no screws in there. And then I'm just getting this stuff, and then basically getting down to like the last 1 or 2. So I need to get this finished up. Then I'm going to add glue or silicone. I'm probably going to use the white silicone, but I think I'm going to have to detach this. I'm not uncomfortable spots like in car, fixing car engines and stuff. So I guess I'm making all types of bonus footage, and you guys don't really know how smooth some of these I haven't made too much footage, but this is technically how impacts should feel like, but alright, so I kind of stepped down, and then at the last one I pulled that out first. The piece started to come undone, so I gotta hurry up and do the other side. Alright, so I pulled out the last screw on that side. The silicone and things, I just need to get over here to get the screws that are in that can. Use a right angle and try to drill the pilot holes. And I measured 8 inches. This was a little off, it's 8 to 8.5. But I'm going to try to line up the template and drill the pilot holes. I think this is going to basically be straight. So I've got 3 different pieces of scraps, I would think, and I'm just going to try to drill pilot holes and then use the drill. So there are a few items here and there, and keeping the levels straight, I should be able to do one side and then the other side there where I need pretty much the bore or the 2x4. And then I've got pretty much screwdriver bits, and the drill is the screwdrivers underneath. The power screwdriver is right there. So I got both my drills and things. Yeah, I got from the tape to the right angle, and then the template itself, making sure it's on the piece and stuff. And I just need to mark where the 3 holes are and then drill a hole and then clean off the sawdust. Alright, so those are the 3 marks. And then now just drill a hole. Alright, so that was kind of etchy, holding this newspaper and drilling with one hand because I didn't want to break a drill bit. So gotta figure out. It's almost plumbed. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. At certain angles it looks a little crooked, but now I gotta flip everything to the other side. It's still noticing where the mark is, kind of, and do the same thing. Alright, so I got it piloted, and now I just clean off the sawdust. Added a few, filled up some of the holes there. Then now I'm just gonna add silicone on this end and put this 2x4 in. Okay, so plumbing everything. It took like 2 days to actually like sand down and things like that. I could actually use a piece of wood and strain out, but it's actually at the marks where the tape is and stuff. Use some of the extra adhesive, but I gotta double check with this piece of wood to make sure it's at least flush on this side. This is a little bent, this and that, but pretty much this is. So I just pressed the wooden block on the side, just pressed it, and it did nudge a little corner. Now I just need to use a little bit. So I've got silicone right there, so I'm just going to smear it off a little bit more, just kind of starting the center one first and then doing the last 2. So I screwed in some of that, and then now I could pilot the other 2 sides, and then hopefully probably gonna check to see if it's straight, but it should be. So right here I got the drill, and then I just pre-piloted it. It only goes in like a 1/4 of an inch, but it's enough to actually give the wood a little give, so that just when the screw hits the wood, it's not gonna have too many. All right, so I wipe off the sawdust and put the screws in. So I basically have a couple of screws out, and then the silicone still out. I could pretty much coat the screws, and it's going to help us peel off the guide tape. And eventually, while I have the silicone out, also I'm going to smoothen out any touch-ups with the silicone any of the gaps. So really making use of a few things here and there. And I'm going to flip this to the other side and you know, double check. You know, if I rub on it and this and that, it does you know, want to come off a little bit, but the only other types of glues is actually like liquid nail, and it doesn't dry clear, which isn't a big problem. This and that, there could be paint, it could be painted over and stuff. Liquid nail would have been more of a stronger bond, I would think, but it's not 100% waterproof, this and that. And I already painted this wood, so the clear is working okay. It's just, you know, I've got enough of the fourth tube for testing glues with the dentures and stuff. I also have this mix bucket. I might even, well, I actually do have another a really clean bucket. I'm going to start mixing up weatherproofing stuff. I think I 4 tubes of this and that. I just need to sort out items. And the thing is, well, I've got 2 pairs of pants, which are, and I'm going to brush. So I'm going to mix in the silicone and brush, and I've got a different bucket. Pretty much this bucket down here is really clean on the inside, so I've got that to it used to kind of sit on top of another bucket right there in that bottom lower bucket, and I've got other buckets and stuff. So this actually so I like half of a tube was in there. I mixed it with water. You know, I've got brushes, some small and this other type of makeup brush, things like that. I even have some newer brushes, which I'm probably going to use. So I think it's time to start mixing a bucket of silicone. I've got this. You know, this is a small sample. You know, something like this could silicone a pair of shoes and things, but I practically could use this board. The thing, everything is kind of getting cleared up now since the fence. I did most of the work on, not most, like half of the work, but putting stuff, you know, sorting out. No, you know, there's, you know, sometimes I might have like a skinnier rod or something, but well, you guys could kind of figure out. I'm going to get like a stick or chopstick. I'm also might even just take a break and just have some footage, I think. But using this brush, getting things prepped up, and going through some of the silicone, some of the next weatherproofing. I'm also lacquer thinner, which I might need to have a good brush for that. Clean brush for probably lacquer. I might even use this for lacquering. Definitely, and you know, the stuff that's already out and opened and stuff is a bit cool. And I'm just trying to kind of get to the bucket, but you know, even before the bucket, there's this bucket of stuff. I'm going to probably move this so that I could get to the lower bucket, which is clean, and that's where I want to mix the silicone. So I'm going to put this inside of the kitchen or in a more comfortable spot. So, but yeah, just clean a bunch of cleaning rags and things like that could definitely, you know, to organize. And I've got different types of cleaning rags. I got a microfiber, this and that, some sock here and there. Maybe I could put some average stuff. Actually, some of this is also at the same time, you know, organize and situate a little bit of this, you know, really clean paint can, and you know, just on this tray. And then I could do it in a few spots. I'm probably going to bring this rag to the bathroom just because it needs to be rinsed off and cleaned up. So the silicone, I also want to have like a plunger, more of these sticks.